All right, welcome to the deep dive. You've brought us quite a stack of material today. We've got articles, research, your own notes too. It's all centered around, well, one of life's biggest transitions, expectant fatherhood.
That's right. And look, this isn't just dry academic stuff. It's a real collection of experiences.
Yeah.
Hard-won advice from dads, moms, expectant parents, compiled by someone who's actually been through it 3 times.
Okay.
So it's messy, it's honest, and really practical.
So our mission today then is to really dig deep into all this. We want to pull out those nuggets you absolutely need to know, everything you need to understand about being an expectant dad today. Stuff you probably didn't even know you needed to know.
Exactly. With some surprising facts, insights straight from people who've lived it.
Okay, let's unpack this.
So kicking things off, one of the themes that just jumps out from this material is, wow, how dramatically the father's role has shifted, like in the last 40 years or so.
Oh, dramatically is the word. Yeah, the sources really paint a picture, don't they? That contrast. It used to be, well, one quote puts it pretty bluntly. Get her pregnant, go to work, have a kid, smoke a cigar. Kind of.
Yeah,
That was the script.
that was it, pretty much. But today, completely different. Modern dads, they're expected to be involved, deeply involved, right from the start.
Attack appointments.
Appointments, yeah, figuring out baby registries, listening, learning, being really present, not just at the delivery, but, the whole journey, before and after.
The material uses a term I thought was really interesting. Pregnancy pioneers.
Yeah, I liked that too.
Because men today are kind of navigating this territory that, well, it just wasn't on the map for their dads or granddads.
I mean, that's key, right? Because this involvement, it's fantastic, obviously. But the flip side is, because it's all relatively new, a lot of guys, they just don't have a roadmap.
Right.
They don't really have clear guidance. What do I say? What do I do? How do I act in this situation or that one?
And that whole journey, it really starts with that moment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Finding out the news. The material describes it as completely surreal.
Surreal, absolutely. There's a story in here, this couple, they'd been trying for like 8 months. They'd switch tests, from the line ones to the digital ones with the smiley face.
Okay.
And when that smiley face finally showed up, they just froze, just stared at it, kind of expecting it to vanish.
Huh.
It's funny, isn't it, how sometimes you put all this effort into, the science of it all, and then maybe it happens right when you sort of let go a bit.
A disbelief, yeah. And then comes the next hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
Telling people, or not telling people. The sources point out how hard it is to keep that secret.
Oh, yeah.
There's this classic story, a baby shower,
Huh.
right, way before they were ready to announce.
Yeah.
And a coworker just blurts out, "Are you pregnant?" Boom, secret's out.
Oh, ooh, yeah. But then you get the other side, like the Thanksgiving toast story. Announcing it then, and this dad, usually totally stoic, non-emotional guy, tears up. So those moments, planned or totally spontaneous, they're powerful. Real milestones.
So as things move along, the practical stuff really starts to take center stage. Doctor's appointments are suddenly a thing. Although this material does note, kind of amusingly, that dad's attendance record might evolve.
Right, yeah. There's this Q&A with a dad of 3. He fully admits, first baby, 100% attendance, every single appointment.
Right.
Second baby, maybe 50%. By the third, well, let's just say he might have just shown up for the delivery.
Tuckles, okay.
So yeah, the level of hands-on involvement, it can definitely change.
But for that first time, being there feels key. And the sources have practical tips. Schedule appointments when it works, First thing, last thing, maybe a weekend if that's an option.
And importantly, don't be afraid to speak up. If a caregiver seems rushed or impatient, you've got a right to ask your questions.
One experience that really jumps out, described from the dad's view, is the pelvic exam. The comparison used is, well, it's vivid, like a car up on blocks.
Yeah.
Trickles. Yeah, I saw that. And seeing the speculum, the duck-billed object, the advice is pretty straightforward. Maybe sit near her head if you're not keen on that particular view.
And the quote nails it. Her privacy, her comfort,
Yeah.
that outweighs any need for you to be right there in that moment.
Ultrasounds, though, that's often a highlight, isn't it? They're not just for a photo op. They're checking crucial stuff, the heart, limbs, organs.
Yeah.
And yeah, you might guess the sex earlier, but that 18-20-week scan, that's usually when you get a much more accurate answer.
And the big tip.
Oh, absolutely. Bring a camera. Don't forget the camera.
Because that ultrasound moment consistently, that seems to be when it really starts to feel for real for a lot of dads.
Definitely. Beyond the visuals, there's prenatal testing. The material gets into genetic testing, tip #12. It mentions, increased odds for certain groups, like those with Jewish heritage for specific conditions.
Okay.
There's this story, a dad tests positive as a carrier for a rare Tay-Sachs mutation, which meant, okay, now his partner has to get tested too. Totally. Thankfully, she wasn't a carrier in that case. But then comes the insurance battle.
Ah, yes. Insurance.
The story mentions something like 30 phone calls, needing the doctor to use different billing codes just to get one test covered, and getting the partner's test covered. Impossible. Insurance called it experimental. So yeah, navigating that bureaucracy, that's a real thing expectant fathers might face.
It's a headache. The material also mentions diagnostic tests like amnio or CVS.
Right, amniocentesis or chorionic villus sampling. Good to know they're highly accurate for checking certain issues, but they do carry a small risk of miscarriage. About 1 in 200, the source mentions. CVS is usually done a bit earlier than amnio.
And all this talk about tests and potential findings, it leads right into another key tip. Tip #14, getting a second opinion.
Yes, so important, especially if a caregiver suggests something really major, something that could dramatically impact the pregnancy or your partner's health.
But that could be tricky, can't it?
Suggesting that. Oh, definitely. Super sensitive. Your partner might have known her doctor for years, trusts them completely. Suggesting a second opinion might feel like you're questioning that trust.
But the sources are pretty firm here. Your comfort level, her comfort level, that's what matters most. Way more important than a caregiver's ego. You both need to feel confident.
And if it feels too awkward coming from you, the material suggests maybe just reading the tip together or even having someone else, like her mom or a friend, bring it up.
Shifting gears slightly, but still practical understanding, insurance, and the costs for the birth itself, that's huge.
Absolutely critical. Maternity coverage. Not always standard. Some plans might even have a 12-month waiting period before it kicks in.
Wow.
So if you're planning ahead, check your coverage way in advance. And even if you have insurance, the source says always ask about discounts. Paying cash up front, maybe. Sometimes you can get a better deal. Check out sites like healthcare.gov for current info.
The key takeaway seems to be, know your options. Delivery method, provider type, where you want to deliver. Figure that out before you're in the heat of labor. Don't wait.
And a fantastic tip from the material, create a pregnancy insurance archives notebook, a PIA notebook.
PIA, okay.
Yeah, write down names, reference numbers, dates you called, get important stuff, and writing email is great for that. This notebook could be your lifesaver if there are billing issues later.
Good idea. And just quickly, some terms you'll definitely hear. In-network means the provider works with your insurance. Out-of-network, they don't, usually cost you more. Premium is your monthly payment. Deductibles are what you pay before insurance starts paying. And Medicaid. That's the government-subsidized option for those who qualify.
And finally, under practicalities, there's life and disability insurance. The source puts it pretty starkly. It's not really about you. It's about making sure the people who depend on you financially, emotionally, are taken care of if, the unpredictable and highly unlikely demise happens. It's planning for the worst-case scenario so you can actually focus on the good stuff.
Okay, so you're juggling the practical things, but then there's supporting your partner through, well, everything else.
Yeah.
The huge physical and emotional changes. And food seems like a big one. Tip #7 is blunt. Do not question cravings.
Just get her what she wants. End of story. There's this anecdote about a really strong meat aversion first trimester, especially chicken. Just the sight of raw meat made her feel sick, and the husband, he just went with the flow, which the source says is exactly right. These things can be intense, but sometimes they just disappear later on.
The material also points to good resources, like the FDA and Mayo Clinic websites if you're wondering about certain foods, and it names the big 3 concerns: listeria, methylmercury, and Toxoplasma gondii.
Beyond food, other physical stuff. Morning sickness, tip #34, huge one. Could last months, could be awful, or maybe she gets lucky, doesn't have it at all. Tips for relief. Crackers by the bed, avoid smells that trigger it, bland food, rest, ginger, and definitely ask the doctor about treatments if it's bad. But also, watch for warning signs, losing a lot of weight, vomiting blood, that's serious.
Then there's terrible gas. Tip #36.
Chuckles, yes. It happens. The sources don't pull any punches. It can be extreme. One story mentions the smell literally waking up the partner.
Oh, wow. Okay. Large, sensitive breasts. Tip #33. Described as a catch-22.
Totally. They might look fuller, but often they're incredibly sore. Untouchable treasure is how one source put it. So the advice is clear. Hands off unless invited, and definitely don't complain about them.
Weight gain. Also a reality. Typical range, 25, 35 pounds for her. And interestingly, the sources say expectant dads sometimes pack on about 10 pounds too. Sympathy weight.
Maybe. But the crucial advice here, tip #38, is crystal clear. Never, ever question how much she eats. Never joke about her weight. Never compare her to anyone else.
No.
Always tell her she's beautiful, she's sexy, compliment specific things, and use that classic line, you don't even look pregnant from behind. Apparently that one works wonders.
Good to know. You also need to get comfortable with, well, leakage, as tip #39 puts it, various kinds.
Yeah. Mucus plug, the bloody show. Amniotic fluid, your water breaking, could be a trickle, could be a gush. Urine, obviously, with all that pressure on the bladder. So yeah, don't make her laugh too hard.
Right.
And normal vaginal discharge versus signs of infection. Good to know the difference.
Moving to the emotional side.
Yeah.
It's definitely a roller coaster. #42 uses this great analogy. Hormonal pregnant woman is gunpowder. Clueless man is spark. Result, explosive situation.
Chuckles. That sounds about right. The story about the Morningstar broccoli cheddar veggie bite.
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly the smell just sent her into a rage, then tears, because it made her so nauseous. It just shows how unpredictable those hormone swings and sensitivities can be.
So navigating disagreements. That takes skill. The advice. Avoid arguing when she's tired, overwhelmed, exhausted, even if you know you're right.
Being right in that moment makes you so wrong. That's what the source says. The story about having to apologize later or revisiting the issue at a totally different time and place, very relatable.
And her fears, her anxieties. Tip #46 says they're real, they're valid. Your job is to acknowledge them, not brush them off.
Yeah, validate them. Normalize it. Reminder, billions of women have done this. Encourage her to talk to her doctor. Maybe make a list of concerns together.
And critically, your involvement being at appointments, classes, shopping, reading up that place helps her feel less alone in this huge thing. Considering a doula is also mentioned.
Then there's nesting. Tip #48. That primal urge she might get to prepare everything, which sometimes involves trying to move furniture that's way too heavy or being around paint fumes.
Things she shouldn't be doing.
Exactly. And the challenge for you is protecting her from herself without yelling. Because yelling apparently just makes her cry and turns you into an accidental asshole.
Chuckles. Okay.
The tip. Talk beforehand about how you can gently intervene so she'll actually listen. And if you do lose your cool, apologize fast. Maybe even apologize to the baby after week 20. They can hear you then.
Finally, under supporting her. Depression. Tip #49. Highlighted as the most important tip in this book. Recognizing the signs is crucial.
Absolutely vital. Things like not playing with other kids if she has them, not wanting to get out of bed, just not being herself.
Yeah.
There's a really poignant story in the sources. A woman carrying twins, she delivers one, leaves the hospital without him because he needs NICU care. Then the second baby comes home, and the depression hits hard. She doesn't want to play, just feels obligated.
Oh, man.
And the doctor actually gave the husband and her mom a card saying, call this number if you see these signs. That kind of proactive support is so important.
Part of feeling connected, maybe impressing your partner a bit too, is knowing what's actually happening with the baby's development. The sources have a week-by-week guide section for this.
Right, gives you a little window inside. Like, week 11, the fetus is only about 2 inches long. But the placenta, that amazing organ providing everything, is growing fast.
By week 12, you've got fingernails, vocal cords, even kidneys that are starting to work. So, yep, the baby's already peeing in there.
Chuckles. Amazing. And for her, maybe that pregnancy glow is starting thanks to hormones and blood flow.
Week 16, more movement. Legs are longer than arms now.
Yeah.
And the baby weighs about 3 ounces, like what, 2 bags of peanut M&Ms?
Something like that. Week 17, developing key reflexes. Sucking, swallowing, blinking, size-wise, think grapefruit, maybe a big orange.
Week 18 sounds important hearing develops.
Yeah, the ears are moving into place. Baby might actually hear you now. The advice is talk loudly. You're competing with a lot of internal noise, whooshing blood, digestion, her heartbeat.
Wow. How big are they then?
About half a pound, roughly 8 ounces of cheddar cheese, the source compares it to.
Okay, and by week 23?
Over a pound. And crucially, this is the point where, with a lot of medical help, there's a chance of survival if premature labor happens. Knowing these little milestones, it really helps make it all feel more tangible, you know. Okay, so you're getting through the physical stuff, the emotional roller coaster, you know, a bit about the baby growing. Now it's time to prepare for the actual arrival. Tip #24. The do-it-all expectant father. has a very clear message.
Which is?
Don't leave everything until the last minute.
Okay, why not?
Simple reason. Bed rest. What if your partner suddenly gets put on bed rest? Everything you planned to do together or things she was going to handle, suddenly it's all on you.
Ah, good point.
The sources suggest a rough deadline. Take the due date, subtract 6 weeks. Try to get the major stuff done by then. Of course, these days, technology, delivery services, they can help if she is sidelined.
Shopping for baby gear. Tip hashtag 59 says that can be totally overwhelming.
Oh, completely. You walk into one of those stores or look online, it's insane. The key,
Right.
Make a needs versus wants list early on, set a budget.
And stick to it.
Try to. Refer back to that list when you're in the store, feeling all the emotions. It can save you a fortune. And getting involved early helps you understand the costs, too. Strollers, for example. They can cost a lot.
Ah, strollers. The sources recommend the Baby Bargains book.
Yeah, and actually test driving them. Don't just push an empty one around the store. Add some weight, like a bag of flour, a couple of textbooks.
What should you check?
See if you kick the wheels when you walk. Do you have to hunch over? Are the handlebars adjustable? Crucial if you and your partner are at different heights. How much stuff can you fit underneath? What kind of ground is it good for? How easy is it to clean?
And apparently dads often underestimate how much they'll use it.
Yeah, an expert in the source material said dads often defer to their wives on the stroller choice and then realize later they really needed those adjustable handles or whatever. And yes, the story of losing the McLaren stroller in a parking lot. A good reminder that these things become valuable possessions fast.
Nursery furniture. Another big ticket item. Timing is key here.
Absolutely. Delivery can take months. Order early, cost, safety, obviously huge factors, and remember that nesting instinct. When it hits, she'll want that nursery done, not waiting for furniture that's weeks away.
The car seat tip. Tip hashtag 64. Love the heading. You will install the car seat wrong.
Chuckles. It's blunt, but probably true for most first-timers. The message is simple. Get it checked by a pro. Safercar.org is the resource mentioned to find inspection stations near you. It's just not worth guessing.
Documenting the pregnancy tip. Hashtag 67. Taking belly pictures.
Yeah, simple but really meaningful. Regular photos, maybe same pose, same spot, creates a great visual timeline. Frame them later, nice gift idea. Professional photos are an option too. The sources cheekily note, naked belly is okay for her if she wants, but maybe keep your shirt on.
Then there's dealing with that classic, maybe slightly annoying advice people give. Tip hashtag 68, the whole life is going to change thing.
Yeah, the sources get how frustrating that can be. Like people are telling you something you couldn't possibly grasp.
But the advice is to reframe it.
Exactly. Look, it is going to change. Massively. But don't let that freak you out. It can change, and usually does change, for the better, in ways you just can't imagine yet.
A pre-birth getaway. Tip hashtag 52. Highly recommended.
If you can swing it, yes. A chance to just be a couple before the newborn whirlwind hits. Doesn't have to be fancy or far away. Short, local is great.
Avoid exotic trips.
Yeah. Later in pregnancy, air travel can be restricted, plus food, water safety concerns in some places. Look for packages, maybe something with a prenatal massage for her.
What about a push present or pregnancy present? Tip hashtag 54 discusses this. Does it have to be diamonds?
Definitely not. The stories are much more varied. A willow tree figurine at 20 weeks, a cookie bouquet for hitting a milestone.
So thoughtful is key.
Totally. Combine it with her birthday or Christmas, maybe. Budget ideas, charms, engraving, something from a bead store, gift cards. Asking maternity store managers for ideas is a practical tip. And honestly, the quote saying the best gift is sleep. Probably spot on.
Apples, probably.
Oh, and the warning. Never, ever tell her you want a push present, unless you're wearing, like, full body armor.
Noted. Finally, doing the little things. Tip hashtag 55. Seems small, but important.
Hugely important. Simple stuff. Folding her laundry and actually putting it away. Bringing home her favorite magazine. Might feel minor to you, but it can make a massive difference to her stress level. Shows you're thinking of her. Even if it sets a precedent, the goodwill is worth it.
Okay, all this prep leads up to the main event, the big day. Sources talk about birth location options. Tip hashtag 5. Hospitals, birthing centers, home.
Even cars and sidewalks get a mention, though hopefully those are unplanned. There's a story from a chiropractor who had 2 hospital births, then chose a home birth for the 3rd, described it as way different, much more relaxed, more natural process, less medical event.
Your role as the labor partner. Tip hashtag 75. Sounds crucial.
Absolutely. Helping her breathe, supporting her during pushing, helping her relax between contractions. The advice, talk to friends who've done it, get their tips. Stories include holding a mirror, a camera, even physically holding her leg up.
And the sources make a clear point about decisions.
Yeah, the line is great. Until a man can deliver a baby through his penis, this one is her call. Basically, support her choices, especially around pain medication. Listen to what she needs. Maybe even have a code word plan, like the funny suggestion, medicate me, you bitch.
Buckles. Working the door. Tip hashtag 76. This is about who's in the room.
Exactly. Have that conversation ahead of time. Who does she want in there? Who not? Set boundaries early to avoid awkwardness or hurt feelings later. The story about asking the mother-in-law to leave during intense labor, it worked okay because they'd talked about boundaries beforehand.
Good planning. And the source adds.
No stun guns. Probably good advice when managing family.
Cord blood banking. Tip hashtag 77. Worth looking into.
Yeah, it's mentioned. Storing the cord blood, which has stem cells, might be especially relevant if there's a family history of diseases it could potentially treat, like leukemia. Some new research. Understanding the stages of labor, tip hashtag 84, can also help you feel prepared. First stage, cervix dilating, thinning out, maybe losing the mucus plug, which incidentally is why sex was generally okay before this point.
Right.
Second stage, actively pushing the baby out. This is where things like episiotomy or C-section might happen. Third stage, delivering the placenta.
And you need to be ready for the unexpected, right?
Yes.
Preterm labor, tip hashtag 25.
Yes, key one to know about. Signs include regular contractions, cramps, backache, changes in discharge before 37 weeks. What to do? Lie down, drink water, call the doctor immediately. They might use meds to try and stop it.
There's a really dramatic story in the sources about this.
Yeah, labor starting terrifyingly early, like 25 weeks. The resident doing the exam feels a tiny leg first, emergency C-section, long NICU stay. It really underscores how unpredictable birth can be. And C-sections, pretty common. The source cited 32.8% in the U.S. back in 2011.
Which leads to maybe your most important role during labor, advocate. Tip hashtag 80 calls it, you run the show.
Absolutely. You're advocating for her and for the baby. The story about the dad who insisted the nurse call the doctor because his partner's bleeding seemed excessive after the birth. He was right, prevented a worse hemorrhage. His instincts mattered.
So how to be a good advocate? Tips include.
Be friendly with the nurses, especially at shift change. Know where the nurse's station is, how to page someone fast, share your birth plan, really listen to your partner, and trust your gut. Ask questions, ask again if you don't get it. And don't hesitate to ask for the attending physician, especially if it's, say, July and there are lots of new interns around.
What about what you might actually see during labor? Tip hashtag 87 is pretty frank.
Yeah, there's a story about seeing poop during delivery. The dad said it was just part of doing business, didn't bother him at all. The excitement totally overshadowed it. Being right there, best seat in the house, watching the baby crown, highlighted as just amazing, unforgettable. And the sources reassure you, even if the baby comes out looking a bit cone-headed, puffy-eyed, hairy, they're beautiful in that moment.
Documenting the birth itself. Tip hashtag 88. Camera. Video.
Yeah, bring them if you're comfortable. Wi-Fi or internal hard drive cameras make it easier. Maybe think about shots beforehand. Check the hospital's policy. Ask the staff if they mind certain angles. Just, stay out of their way. Okay, baby's here. Congratulations. Now comes welcoming the newborn and navigating what Dr. Harvey Karp calls the fourth trimester. Tip hashtag 88 also lists some standard newborn procedures you'll see in the hospital.
Like what?
Eye care, usually an antibiotic ointment to prevent infection. Hearing screening. PKU, or metabolic screening, that's a blood test for certain disorders. And screening for critical congenital heart disease. Good idea to ask your doctor about these beforehand, discuss any concerns.
Managing moms and babies aftercare. Tip hashtag 89. Still being the advocate.
Yes, absolutely. Stick close to the baby during those procedures. And crucially, stay with your partner, especially those first 24, 48 hours. She needs recovery time, support. Chances of complications are small, but being there is vital. There's a quote mentioning some partners didn't stay overnight because the room was small, or whatever the sources imply, you really should try to make it work.
Where baby sleeps at night in the hospital.
Yeah.
Tip hashtag 90. Rooming in versus nursery.
Right. The trend is more towards rooming in, baby stays with you, but the sources strongly say it is okay to use the nursery. Let mom sleep, let her recover. You won't have that night nurse luxury at home.
Makes sense.
If she's breastfeeding, you just work out the logistics with the nurses.
The drive home. Tip hashtag 91 describes this as unique.
Totally unique. That moment it really hits you. This tiny person is completely dependent on you. Suddenly, every other car seems way too close. The world feels kind of dangerous.
The PS about driving like an idiot before you understood responsibility. Pretty relatable.
Facts,
Yeah. And don't forget the basics. Tip hashtag 71 reminds you, Pack your partner, not just the baby. And check you have gas in the car. Small details, big impact in that moment.
The fourth trimester, tip #94. That's Dr. Karp's term for the first 3 months.
Exactly. Baby's still adjusting to being outside the womb. His happiest baby on the block ideas. The 5S's swaddling, side stomach position, shushing, swinging, sucking mentioned as really helpful for calming fussy babies. Now, tip #92, what no one tells new dads. This offers some real talk.
Okay.
It might not be this magical instant bonding thing right away. The sources are upfront about that.
Yeah.
There's a story about the first 2 months just being stress, exhaustion, shock, survival mode, even while everyone's telling you how amazing it is. The point is, it's normal if you don't feel that magic immediately. It will come, likely spectacular later on, but that sense of overwhelming responsibility, that hits pretty fast.
Accepting help after birth, tip #95. Crucial. Don't be a hero. Take the help. Someone offers to hold the baby so you can shower. Yes, please. The anecdote about the dad realizing how much help his wife needed, especially since he wasn't up all night nursing, it really highlights why accepting help benefits everyone.
And SIDS prevention, tip #93. Simple but vital.
Absolutely. Back to sleep. Always on their back. And keep the crib clear. No soft bedding, no bumpers, no stuffed animals.
So, life is new parents.
Mm.
Constant adjustments, right?
Right.
Especially for the couple, feeling rejected, the universal rejection truth, or URT, tip #16. That sounds intense.
It's a frank discussion. Explains how temporarily dad often shifts from #2 in his partner's world to #3 behind the baby. It's biological nature prioritizing that mother-infant bond early on.
So the advice is,
Understand it's a phase. Listen to her. Communicate. Find ways to connect. Don't withdraw or resent it.
and how to get attention when demoted.
Oh.
It's not about demanding it.
No, it's about staying connected. Keep going to appointments if possible, read baby books together, listen, help shop, plan little outings, document the journey, talk to other dads, maybe even therapy if things feel stuck.
Having sex again with her, tip #101. The sources tackle this head on.
Yeah, acknowledging it might not be top of the list for either of you.
Right.
There's a very blunt story about sex feeling like sandpaper, hurting for months. Hormonal changes, especially with breastfeeding, can cause dryness, discomfort.
So patience is key.
Patience, gentleness, no pressure, go slow. Make her feel desired in other ways, too. Desire often returns later, maybe after nursing stops. Tips focus on pleasure beyond just intercourse. More foreplay, massage, oral sex, gentleness. Ask her what feels good now. Things change. Maintaining that couple connection. Tip #102. It takes effort now. Conscious effort in planning. Very different from pre-baby spontaneity. Make time for dates, even short ones, local ones, at-home ones after bedtime.
And the key point about date night.
It's not always about getting lucky. It's about intentionally spending time together, reconnecting as a couple.
Feeding challenges, not just breastfeeding.
Right. Bottle feeding can feel intimidating, too. Finding the right bottle, the right nipple, it can be trial and error. Seek help from doctors or specialists if there are issues. The author's wife is actually an infant feeding specialist, so that perspective is there.
And what if she struggles with milk supply?
Crucially, don't pressure her. It happens. Support her. And dads can help with feeding even if she is nursing. Bring the baby to her, bring her water, help with the pump. That connects back to tip #95, accepting giving help.
Tip #96. Take a shift a week. Sounds practical.
Really practical. If she's home all week with the baby, dad takes over completely for one day on the weekend. Give her a real break.
The story about the wife needing time for errands the husband took for granted, that hits home.
Yeah. And the anecdote about experiencing every bodily fluid, poop, pee, puke as a rite of passage for the dad who steps up, chuckles. Pretty accurate. Some friends apparently suggested leaving dad alone with the baby for a whole week just so he'd get it.
Wow. The changing role of fathers. Do it all dads, stay-at-home dads. Tip #99.
Yeah, acknowledging this is happening more. Support groups exist for dads now. There are anecdotes about some, maybe older generation, moms or nannies, being surprised to see a dad as the primary caregiver, showing stereotypes linger. But the takeaway, the guy's doing it, they don't regret it, they don't say it sucks.
Staying connected when working or traveling. Tip #100. Technology helps.
Massively. The story about playing peekaboo with his daughter over MacBooks using video calls. Really sweet. Shows you can be present even from far away.
So just to recap some key changes from tip #92.
Big changes to the marriage, sex life, partner's identity shifts, less time for friends, that huge sense of responsibility. The sources suggest action plans. talk partner, friends, therapist. Plan for sleep. Help her find her new identity. And remember, the toughest parts are often temporary.
Finally, the sources address pregnancy loss.
Yes, a difficult but important inclusion. The advice is simple, compassionate, grieve together, feel it together, and then when you're both ready, try again if that's what you want. It will get better.
So that wraps up our deep dive. Based on this stack of material you brought, we've covered, well, a lot. That huge shift in the father's role, the surreal start, navigating all the practical stuff, appointments, costs, being an advocate.
Supporting her through massive changes, physically and emotionally, getting that glimpse of the baby growing inside.
All the prep work, the intensity of labor and delivery, welcoming the newborn, that fourth trimester adjustment.
And those big ongoing shifts in your relationship, your life as new parents.
This whole deep dive, it was really designed to give you listening a shortcut, right? That context, those specific stories that hopefully stick with you, make it feel real.
Exactly, to be well informed for this incredible experience.
So as you think about all this, here's a final thought, drawn from the sources. While you're busy preparing for the arrival of this new little person, maybe the most significant birth happening is the transformation that you and your partner are going through as you step into these demanding, amazing, and, yes, spectacular new roles.